గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ స్టూడెంట్స్. మనము పార్ట్ 1 పార్ట్ 2 చూసుకున్నాము. దానిలో 3 యూనిట్స్ కవర్ అయినాయి. ఇది వచ్చేసి 4th యూనిట్ ఈరోజు మనం చూసుకుందాం. జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. సరిగ్గా చదవని వాళ్ళకి, పీడిఎఫ్ లేని వాళ్ళకి, అంటే ఉన్నా సరే కొంతమందికి మొబైల్స్ అవైలబుల్గా లేవు అన్నారు, ఓకే నెట్ సరిగ్గా లేదన్నారు. ఒకసారి మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుంటే పడుకొని కానీ మీరు ఏదైనా పని చేసుకుంటే అయినా వినొచ్చు ఈ లెసన్స్. కొంతమంది హెల్త్ కండిషన్స్ సరిగ్గా లేవని చెప్పారు, ఎస్పెషల్లీ వాళ్ళ కోసం. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇవన్నీ కూడా నేను ఇంత ప్రయాసపడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, కానీ ఏంటంటే ఈ కరోనా టైంలో చాలామంది చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా. నా పర్సనల్ దాంట్లో పెట్టాల్సి వస్తుంది ఈ యొక్క వీడియోస్ని, పర్సనల్ బ్లాగ్లో. ఓకే పిల్లలు, మీరు మంచిగా పాస్ అవ్వడమే నాకు కావాలి. ఖచ్చితంగా మీరు వినండి, విని ఎలా ఇచ్చినా క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ రాసేటట్లు ఉండండి. 70 మార్క్స్కి మనకి క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్, దాని గురించి మీరు డోంట్ వరీ అబౌట్ దట్. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్, సెకండ్ యూనిట్, థర్డ్ యూనిట్, ఇది 4th యూనిట్. ఓకే, 5th 6th కూడా చెప్తాను నేను, అది కూడా జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. ఓకే సరే. 4th యూనిట్ వచ్చేసి మీరు ఫస్ట్ సెకండ్ అవి చూసుకోవాలంటే ప్రతిదీ నేను మీకు పెట్టలేను, నేను కొంతమంది పెడుతున్నాను, అవి దయచేసి ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయండి. నాకు చాలా చాలా వేరే వర్క్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, రాత్రి 4 o'clockకి నేను మీకు చేద్దాం అనుకుని లేచాను, కానీ వేరే పని మీద నేను చేయలేకపోయాను. బట్ ఇప్పుడు కొంచెం టైం తీసుకొని చేస్తున్నాను, దయచేసి వినండి. ఓకే ఓకే, ఎనర్జీ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ సోర్సెస్ అన్నమాట. ఇది ఏంటి, ఇది 4th యూనిట్. ఎనర్జీ అంటే ఏంటి అసలు? ఎనర్జీ అని మనం దేన్ని అంటాము? కొంత శక్తి, అవునా? దీనిలో మనకి ఏమేమి ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంటాయి? ఎనర్జీ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ సోర్సెస్. ఎనర్జీ అనేటువంటి దాన్ని మనం ఆల్టర్నేట్గా మనము యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ ఈజ్ ద ఇంక్రీజ్ ఆఫ్ world's average temperature, mainly in the sector of atmosphere, seas and the land and earth. Here are 3 series factors. ఇక్కడ మనకి 3 series factors కనిపిస్తున్నాయి. Namely, the crack on the lower part of atmosphere, pollution on earth, and so many greenhouses. The first factor is on the atmosphere. Recent years, many researchers show the atmosphere has some kind of a crack because of the heat from sun's emission. The layer of atmosphere seems cannot take the heat anymore. The crack gets larger as the sun ray holes in the atmosphere, as there are gases as what it seems to be in the cause. To be the cause, the second factor, pollution, takes its toll as the one which makes the sun ray stuck in the atmosphere. These gases are very thick that even the sun ray cannot get through it, or at least it is hard to do it. The third factor is that the greenhouses reflected the sun ray that's supposed to be stayed on earth, sending the sun ray back to space. But remember, though, there is the gases that block the process of sending away the sun ray. If the greenhouses don't stop being built, that will just be helpful too to make the atmosphere and our earth worse. From these explanations, details and examples, my conclusion is that someone has got to do something and not just keep inventing new technology or fancy factories, because what we need now is not something that can make life easier, but something that can decrease the temperature. ఇక్కడ మనము ఈ యొక్క ఎనర్జీని ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ సోర్సెస్ కిందకి మనం తీసుకుంటున్నాం. అంటే ఏంటి, ఈ ఎనర్జీని డిఫరెంట్ మోడ్స్లో, డిఫరెంట్ మెథడ్స్ ద్వారా మనం యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అంటే టెక్నాలజీని ఖచ్చితంగా యూజ్ చేయాలిగా మరి ఇక్కడ కూడా. మన సొంతంగా తీసుకొచ్చి చేయడానికి మనకి టెక్నాలజీ తెలిస్తేనే కదా టెక్నికల్గా మనం ముందుకు వెళ్ళాల్సింది. కాబట్టి ఈ ఎనర్జీని యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవడానికి మనకి మేజర్గా టెక్నాలజీ చాలా అవసరం. ఇక్కడ ఏమంటున్నాడు, టెక్నాలజీ ఈజ్ ఏ బూన్ ఆర్ బెయిన్. ఈ క్వశ్చన్ లేకుండా క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ఉండదండి, జాగ్రత్తగా చదువుకోండి. బూన్ ఆర్ పెయిన్, దానిలో అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఉన్నాయి, డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, టెక్నాలజీ అసలు ఎలా మనకి టుడేస్ లైఫ్లో ఎలా ఉంది? టుడే ఈజ్ అన్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ టెక్నాలజీ టుడే ఈజ్ అన్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎవ్రీడే లైఫ్. ర్యాపిడ్ అడ్వాన్స్మెంట్స్ ఇన్ ద ఫీల్డ్ హ్యావ్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ ద pace of life, effectively coordinating reality with imagination. In other words, we virtually move with our thoughts and as we look ahead. Today's technology becomes outdated tomorrow. Technological innovations have ensured maximum customer satisfaction in a demanding market environment. Rapid changes in marketing strategies through technology or technological innovations have caused traditional markets to face business crisis as their overheads exceed income. High rentals have to be compensated by them through unrealistic pricing. Consumers today prefer to shop from home. Online shopping and modern concepts of accessing bank accounts, railway, air and bus and even movie bookings has long since overtaken human intervention. Okay, the move today is towards paperless functioning and the reduction of cash transactions for cutting of costs, preventing tax evasion and ensuring financial safety. Public examinations for schools, universities and even job offers are conducted and evaluated online with early announcement of results. Public and private departments, financial institutions and business enterprises have turned tech savvy. Even security forces, intelligence agencies, and the local police access computer for investigations and data processing. However, while all the above technological achievements deserve accolades and reflect on our scientific capabilities, we forget the loss of human touch. How often do we socially interact? A generation ago, people meet to exchange pleasantries and share views. Life moved at a slower pace but more qualitatively. Today, people meet and chat over the internet with total strangers whom they are never likely to meet in person. Family interactions, as had been known earlier, are no longer in vogue at the traditional dining room at home, but characterized by distant correspondence across the globe, with visitors proving it to be more of nuisance than a welcome presence under such circumstances. The mobile phone in the pocket today is as important as the shirt on the body. In the absence of the mobile phone, life appears insecure. They are not mere instruments for conversation, but also gadgets for photography, tapping of conversation, and stories of information both at home and office. This may also be an intrusions of privacy and a hindrance to exchange of confidential information. Whether at home or office, it may also prove to be security hazard. Some institutions today prohibit the use of mobile phones within their premises for such reasons. The loss of or misplacements of a mobile phone creates a panic which was absent yesterday, when the brain took care of stories of memory and timely delivery of output without a SIM cards. Technology has Thus, combine innovation with tension. A debit card or a credit card may prove handy for a commercial transaction, but careless handling may work to the determinant of the card holder. Expert hackers may read through the magnetic strip of your ATM card, or even in the case of lesser mortal misuse, a recorder or disclosed PIN. Here, the loss of credit card may pose even greater problems for the card holder, as unlimited transactions are put through on a lost card by fraudsters. A failure to close the transaction may also leak out information at an ATM outlet to the determinant of the account holder. Technology works both ways, and intelligent criminals circumvent loopholes in safety of transaction, which necessitates technologists to continuously stay on their toes. Today, investigators at school, college, and board examinations also have to prevent use of electronic gadgets for unfair means. I, however, do not wish to be called a pessimist, but am only being realistic. Technological development and innovation are welcome to modern society, but there are always two sides a coin. Roads may be broad, but there may be a pothole at some point. Traffic may be smooth, but accidents do take place. So, please permit me to listen to the music on my mobile for some time and mentally relax before I attend to it. Technology boomer with the modern world, despite all its technological innovations and inventions, has not been successful in keeping human beings on earth together. We have best gadgets, technologies, and the rest of it, but these days these have not been able to serve the purpose, as the world is increasingly becoming a community-centric place, each claiming their own place under the sun. Each nation is trying to assert their superiority and authority and over others, and the oddest sides to this game is that these nations have communities inside them who too are seeking independence and sovereignty. The latest among them is United Kingdom, where Scotland is going for a referendum this month to seek independence from the UK and add as a new country into the European Union. If the September 18 referendum favors creation of Scotland as an independent state, then Great Britain will certainly not remain as great as it is today. Okay. Here, although sovereignty of any state will have a higher degree of politics and peoples will involved, but what about families, neighborhoods, public institutions, and all these classifications that is centered around humanity? They are failing or faltering like nine pins, but it is anywhere in the world, from the northeastern part of India to Africa to Europe, Middle East, in fact the world as a whole. Technology which is shaping up human lives in every possible manner unimaginably is also the pain here. If we see the use of social networking in recent times, it has created more friction in societies over the world than the good that it was designed, with countries like China have come up with their own set of legislation towards use of such sites, but this undreamed of freedom of expression is sinking more into the world of spreading hatred, jealousy, igniting comments, fanatism, fanaticism and the rest, which has created commotion and has even taken lives in many nations. Right? We cannot deny the fact that most of these technological developments have truly taken place in advanced countries, right? Mostly in America and Europe, right? In the divided world in which we live, where families are shot into a piecemeal whole, is actually the result of your efforts trying to instill technology practically in everything in our daily lives. Okay, we have literally become slaves instead of technology being our slaves. Okay, మనం the present world civilization is sustaining on this falling core. ఓకే, ఒకవేళ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగితే ఇంకా మీరు ఓన్గా రాయొచ్చు. యూరోపియన్ కంట్రీస్లో ఏదైతే జరిగిందో, స్లేవరీస్గా మనం ఎట్లా ఉన్నామో, తర్వాత మన యొక్క టెక్నాలజీని యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకుంటూ ముందుకు ఎలా వెళ్ళగలిగాము, మన యొక్క ఇండిపెండెంట్ లైఫ్ని ఎలా లీడ్ చేయగలుగుతున్నాము, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనకి చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో తర్వాత క్వశ్చన్ ఇంకోటి అడగచ్చు, రెన్యూబుల్ అండ్ నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ రిసోర్సెస్, వాట్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్. ఓకే, రెన్యూబుల్ అంటే ఏంటి, నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ అంటే ఏంటి, వాట్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ రెన్యూబుల్ అండ్ నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ రిసోర్సెస్. ఓకే, రెన్యూబుల్ నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్లో యాక్చువల్లీ మనకి రెన్యూబుల్ అండ్ నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ రిసోర్సెస్లో we cannot use our feet to power our cars like the Flintstones. So how do cars move around? Energy, what is energy? What is the meaning of energy? Energy is the ability to do work, right? All living things need energy to grow. Plants use light from the sun to grow. Also light is a type of energy we use all the time. We get most of the light from the sun, but at night we make our own light using another energy source known as electricity. Energy makes things move. Cars run on the energy stored in gasoline. Sailboats are pushed by the energy in the wind. It takes energy to run our televisions, computers and video games in the form of electricity. We use electricity all day long. It gives us light and heat. It makes things operate, right? After a long day, don't you feel too tired to move? Well, you have run out of energy. You need some food to refuel. Imagine what your life would be without electricity. Okay, there are two main types of energy, renewable and non-renewable. Basically, most of the energy we use comes from fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas and petroleum. Uranium is another non-renewable source, but it is not a fossil fuel. Uranium is converted to a fuel and used in nuclear power plants. Once these natural resources are used up, they are gone forever. The process of gathering these fuels can be harmful to the biomass from which they come. Fossil fuels are put through a process called combustion in order to produce energy. Combustion releases pollution such as carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, which may contribute to acid rain and global warming. Other than renewable sources of energy can be used over and over again. Renewable resources include solar energy, wind, geothermal energy, biomass and hydropower. They generate much less pollution both in gathering and production than non-renewable sources. But it is believed that petroleum in particular will not be depleted, as it is generated in the deep sedimentary basins, even if it will take thousands of years, but it will be generated, and petroleum will still be one of main and important sources of energy, and the source upon which countries economies depend on. In the following report we will try to identify different energy sources available in the world, right? ఈ ఒకవేళ క్వశ్చన్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ రెన్యూబుల్ అండ్ నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ ఎనర్జీ అని చెప్పేసి ఇచ్చినప్పుడు చక్కగా మనము డైలీ ఏమైతే యూస్ చేస్తున్నామో వాటి గురించి మీరు ప్రస్తావిస్తూ రాయొచ్చు అనమాట. ఎగ్జాస్టిబుల్ న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి, ఇన్ఎగ్జాస్టిబుల్ న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి అనమాట. ఆల్ ద న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్ కెన్ బి డివైడెడ్ ఇంటూ 2 categories. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ exhaustible natural resources, second one is inexhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible natural resources are soils, forest, water, coal, petroleum, natural gas, minerals, etc. Right? These are consumed or exhausted through continuous use or misuse. Exhaustible natural resources can be further divided into 2 types: renewable natural resources, non-renewable natural resources. Inexhaustible natural resources are those which cannot be exhausted through continuous use or misuse, example air and sunlight, etc. Right? Renewable resources, the natural resources which are consumed, exhausted, depleted through continuous use and can be recovered by very hard efforts take up for long period are called renewable resources. Example, soils, forest, groundwater, etc. In other words, we can say that all renewable resources are replenished through natural cycles or manually. For example, oxygen in air is replenished through photosynthesis. Forest is maintained themselves and manually. Similarly, fresh water is available through cycles and manually too. Most of the renewable resources are interdependent to each other. Forest maintain the environment or climate. Plants need to check soil erosion, and soil is needed for plants. Air and insects are needed for pollination. Wood, fiber, fodder, fruits, vegetables, milk, etc. are developed directly or indirectly by recent photosynthetic activity. Right? Thus, the renewal of these resources will continue as long as the photosynthesis continues on this planet. These resources are the life support system which can fulfill all human needs, but its productivity or renewability is limited or dependence upon availability of water, nutrients and environmental conditions. The natural resources are useful to human society in one way or other. Hence, we should ensure a continuous yield of useful plants, animals and materials by establishing a balanced cycle of harvest and renewal. Okay, non-renewable, let us see for non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are not replenishable, or we cannot get back our coal and petroleum reserves in our lifetime. If once they are consumed or exhausted completely, non-renewable resources are metals, example iron, copper, zinc, etc. Coal, oil deposits, minerals, stone minerals, mineral salts of phosphate, nitrate, carbonates, etc. Minerals are often called the stock resources because their new materials can only be extracted from the earth's crust once. But even in the transformed state in which they are used, they are not lost to the planet and so are ideally available for reuse. Metals or minerals come from a very slow process of geochemical concentration which took millions of years to form. Therefore, these deposits which occur today can disappear at some point of time in future. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are called as fossil fuels because they are formed from dead remains of plants and animals buried in the earth long ago. They are called fuels because they are burned to give off energy. Coal have a high heating value, hence it is a useful fuel. Since fossil fuels are not non-renewable sources of energy, therefore it is essential to explore more and more alternatives. Today we are utilizing solar energy, wind energy, ocean energy, geothermal and atomic energy as alternative sources of energy. Minerals, rocks, salts, chemicals, etc. are termed as a biotic resources. As biological activity is not involved in their formation, Continuous over exploitation of these resources shall exhaust many of our valuable deposits, which took millions of years to form. They cannot be duplicated within the human scale of time. Okay, what are the difference between renewable నాన్ రెన్యూబుల్ రిసోర్స్ అని అడిగినప్పుడు ఈ క్వశ్చన్ని చక్కగా మీరు రాయచ్చన్నమాట. Let us see pedal power, different powers. Okay, pedal power, wind power. Okay, first let us see pedal power. Pedal power using either a bicycle like pedal arrangements or a treadle mechanism can be used to power a range of agricultural equipments, water pumps, grinders and electric generators. The Philippines engineers at IRRI developed a small, lightweight, inexpensive foot powered pump that will lift large quantities of water several feet high using only a moderate amount of human power, and operate standing on the 2-foot rest of the pump. Rocks it back the forth in a rhythmic manner to compress a diaphragm to force water from the outlet valve continuously. Right. Next, wind power. Man has been utilizing the power of wind for various purposes since time immemorial, but in the search for alternative sources of natural energy in the context of depletion of natural non-renewable sources, wind power plays a prominent part. Unlike other industries, wind energy has been around for thousands of years. It is a technology that has been reinvented numerous times. It is a promising field for natural renewable energy sources. There is a continued development of mechanical devices like wind turbines, which provide free, reliable, environmental friendly power and also avoids damage caused to the health of people when electricity cables are installed. A unique blade feathering device of polypropylene allows the turbine to function at a constant speed even at strong winds. The UK is one of the windiest countries in Europe. Two of the world's most powerful wind turbines have been raised off the UK coast by the consortium Blyth Offshore Wind Limited. Each turbine is capable of generating 2 megawatts of electricity. These largest wind turbines are installed offshore in such demanding position as to utilize the full forces of North Sea. Okay, right. North Sea. Next one, hydrogen powered economy. Hydrogen powered economy. Iceland is making plans to become the world's first hydrogen powered economy. It has become a testing ground for a new generation of hydrogen powered cars and buses. Iceland's per capita oil consumption is the highest in the world. So it plans to convert the transportation economy to renewable energy. In 2002, the country's first hydrogen fuel cells ran 3 requisite buses at the cost 1.25 million each. It plans to power the city's 100 buses using this technology. Between 80,000 to 90,000 tons of hydrogen would be needed to power the country's entire transportation sector and fishing fleets. It plans to eliminate most of its dependency on oil by 2030. Okay, it would have two significant impact on the Icelandic economy. It could transform Icelanders into hydrogen sheikhs of the future. Next one, biomass fuel seaweed power. Right, let us see. Biomass fuel seaweed power. Biomass fuel is a source of energy derived from living organisms. Commonly plant residue marine biomass can be used to produce electricity and fuels with the added advantage of being grown in the ocean. freeing valuable agricultural land. The ocean is the region that has a spark and sufficient water for a large scale cultivation of new primary biomass in the form of seaweed. The global potential of biomass energy has been estimated in 100 million megawatts per year, and 35% of which is from marine biomass. More than 5 million tons of seaweeds is farmed in China, Japan, and Philippines every year. Many efforts are underway to develop marine cultivation as well as realize its limitations and constraints. Next one, biogas. Biogas is a mixture containing 60% methane and 40% carbon dioxide. Biogas generator or plant is a simple apparatus for turning animal dung into biogas and nitrogen fertilizer. Animal dung can be supplemented by organic waste. Okay, water hyacinth, okay, corn stalk, wild grass, and aquatic weeds. The mixing of equal parts of animal dung, water hyacinth, and algae result in up to 70% of methane being produced. A 1 acre plot of water hyacinth would yield 400,000 cu feet of gas per year, which is equivalent to 60 megawatt power. Biogas can be used as a fuel or domestic cooking for running diesel engines. Right. Next one, let us see wave power, wave energy. What is the difference between wave power, wave energy? A team of European researchers at University of Plymouth have invented a new device for harnessing the power of the waves. The wave energy devices comprises a column or cylinder 5 meters in diameter, which extends some 14 meters below the surface of the sea. The device is based on the principle of multiple water columns which oscillate owing to the movement of the waves. Air in the columns under pressure from the water below drives a turbine to generate power. This device could supply energy to remote islands and offshore installations with a future potential to supply power to coastal communities. Right. Next, solar powered car. A team of Canadian students from Ontario has set a new world record for the longest distance traveled in a solar powered islands. Right. A sleek aerodynamic car. Right, example, okay, Radiance is made to travel 7,044 kilometers from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Vancouver, British Columbia during the month-long trip. Radiance and used the equivalent of just $4 worth of electricity compared with over 600 in diesel fuel for a support vehicle. The solar panels fixed to the vehicle powered the electric motor of the vehicles, right? And the excess of energy was stored in batteries for cloudy days. Okay. Our next one, mini grid plants in Bihar. We know very well Bihar stories. Rajkumar Shah and the residents of Siwan district in Bihar is a promising entrepreneur. This is this question belongs to fourth unit, carrying maybe I think 7 marks. Okay, 7 marks question, long answer question. Okay, please listen carefully. Mini grid plants in Bihar. Rajkumar Shah, a resident of Siwan district in Bihar, is a promising entrepreneur. He has been losing his in printing business, so he has opted to set up a decentralized renewable energy mini grid plant under the smart power of rural development and is prospering well. The current scenario in Bihar offers a huge potential and opportunity to set up a viable DRE mini grids serving a wide range of customers. Commercially sustainable mini grids have the potential to scale up, integrate with the grid and offer a last mile delivery solution. Now in Bihar, 25 plants are being operated, managed and maintained by Smart Power India's partner energy service companies, ESCO partners. These are based on solar, biomass and hybrid solar and biomass technology. Approximately 800 kilowatts of renewable capacity has already been commissioned in the state. A viable solution for Bihar seems to be the
decentralized electricity generation. As Bihar is an agricultural based economy, rural areas have already available biomass, and large surfaces in the rural areas can be used for solar energy generation. These sustainable DRE mini grids go beyond household lighting with a focus on productive use by certain an ecosystem that drives socio-economic development. The current mini grid plants in Bihar serve a mix of household, shops, as well as commercial and industrial customers. This SPRD program, what is the meaning of SPRD? Define SPRD, Smart Power of Rural Development program, can substantiate and complement the state government's efforts towards rural electrification, right? Okay, this question belongs to fourth unit question. This question carrying 7 marks, I think. ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో మాత్రం ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతారు కాబట్టి జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. నెక్స్ట్ సలీం అలీ యూనిట్ 5. ఓకేనా, అవర్ లివింగ్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్. సలీం అలీ, ఈ క్వశ్చన్ లేకుండా మీకు పేపర్ ఉండదు. ఓకేనా, కాబట్టి లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. సలీం అలీ, the bird man of India. Okay, this unit title name is Our Living Environment. Salim Ali, the bird man of India, right? The pioneer Indian ornithologist and environmentalist, made a sterling contribution to the field of bird conservation. His lifelong dedicated work and study of birds and his writings have been instrumental in protection of bird life and setting up of national parks and reserves. In his lively and notable autobiography, he recaptures instances when he and his nephew as little children used to buy partridges and quails from markets with the intention of setting them free. A carcass of bird kindled young Ali's interest, and he was impressed by the knowledge of a member of the Bombay Natural History Society in identifying the bird. Ali decided then to apply himself to the scientific study of birds. Salim Ali was not only a great naturalist but also an explorer. Meticulous observation and verification of data, journeying through forest and desert. Ali studied a large number of species of birds. He classified and described them. His monumental 10-volume Handbook of the Birds of India and Pakistan stands testimony to his passion and interest through. He passionately loved and considered birds his friends. He had to collect and kill them to advance taxonomical knowledge of Indian birds. He rediscovered some rare species of birds. He authored several books which form of the Bible all the bird watchers in India. He initiated the creation of the Keoladeo Ghana and Silent Valley National Park. While living in Dehradun in 1934, he researched economic ornithology, which includes detailed studies on the food and feeding habits of birds. In his opinion, birds can be highly destructive to cereal crops and orchid or orchard fruits, but also highly beneficial in controlling the ravages of insects and vermin such as rodents. They also affect cross pollination and are thus of great usefulness in the propagation of plants. Camouflage is generally a conscious attempt on the part, right? Okay, part of the animals and birds to escape from enemies. After a true study of the camouflaging, coloration of desert animals and birds, he stated that greater exposure to ultraviolet radiation results in greater paleness of color, and attributed this cause to the sandy color of desert birds and animals. Ali was totally relentless immersed in his work with a scientific tempo, and he often said that his work was its own reward. Even the Salim received many international awards like Palgadi's the Golden Arc of the IUCN and the Gold Medal of the British Ornithology Union, and the Indian government awarded him the Padma Shri and Padma Vibhushan. He was nominated to Rajya Sabha in 1981. The legendary Birdman is no more, but his legacy lives on. Right. This question is very, very important, okay, in your examination point. Right. Next, vanishing animals. What is the meaning of vanished or vanishing? అంతరించిపోవుట. ఇంకా నువ్వు కనిపించడానికి లేదు, చూడడానికి లేదు, దేనికి కూడా లేదు. ఆల్ రైట్. General Darrell, the proprietor of the Jersey Zoo, his name is Gerald Durrell. His name is Gerald Durrell, the proprietor of the Jersey Zoo, who lives and strives hard to save endangered animals, pleads for them in his article Vanishing Animals. The list of creatures that now vanished and others that are on the verge of extinction is a long and melancholy one. Man is responsible for the destruction of animal species, both directly and indirectly. As he has spread across the earth, he has wrought the most terrible havoc among the wild fauna by shooting, trapping, cutting and burning the forest cover. In addition to this intentional destruction, he has colossusly and stupidly introduced certain factors like enemies where there are no enemies before, as in the case of the dodo of Mauritius. Mauritius. The island of Mauritius was once dodo's paradise. Dodo is a great ponderous wedding pigeon, the size of a goose, has a secure place in its native island home. As there were no enemies to fly from, it had lost the power of flight. Right, it nested on the ground in complete safety. It seems to have lost power of recognizing an enemy when it saw once. For apparently it was an extremely tame and confining creatures. This is an evidence to show that an animal may loss of faculty. It does not, and goats. Dodo surveyed them with an air of innocent interest, but the new animals caused a great havoc, and by 1681 the harmless pigeon Dodo was extinct and joined in the long list of extinct creatures like quagga and the great oak. All over the world, the wild fauna has been whittled down steadily and remorselessly. Many helpless, lovely, and interesting creatures which have been reduced in numbers badly need protection and help. As they can never re-establish themselves, they need protection in the form of sanctuaries where they can live and breed undisturbed. Many animals like Pea, David Deer and white-tailed gnu need immediate care and protection. In the recent past, much has been done for the protection of the wildlife. Sanctuaries and reserves have been started and reintroduction of the species into areas where they had been extinct in taking place. In Canada, for instance, beavers are now reintroduced into certain areas, hits and the ground it opens and lets the beaver make it way to the nearest stream or lake. Though much is being done, there is still great deal to do. Many animals which are of some economic importance to man are preserved and protected, but there are many obscure species of no economic importance of are protected only on paper and in fact being allowed to die as nobody except a few interested zoologists who considered them important enough to spend money on. Okay, vanishing animals, this question also essay question. ఓకే, ఈ క్వశ్చన్ కూడా మీరు బాగా చదువుకోవాలి. ఓకే రైట్, మిగతాది నెక్స్ట్ నేను వీడియోలో అప్లోడ్ చేస్తాను. రైట్, ఇంతవరకు బాగా జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి, వినింది ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి, చూసుకున్న దాన్ని మంచిగా ఎగ్జామ్లో రాయండి. రైట్.